Let's talk about Pluto in Capricorn stationing direct. We are in the home stretch. Pluto will be leaving its retrograde stint October 10th and begin to move forward again at 27 degrees of Capricorn. What can you expect and how can you best navigate the energies? In this video, I'll be sharing this as well as tips that I have gained from my own difficult Pluto transits, and as always, doing readings for all 12 signs. So be sure and listen for your rising sign. This is the area of life, the area of your natal astrology chart in which this transit of Pluto and Capricorn is happening for you, as well as your sun and your moon sign for additional intuitive messages. And I'll also be pulling an oracle card for each of the 12 signs. So Pluto entered Capricorn in 2008, and it leaves for good in November of 2024. This is the full 16 years of Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto takes 248 years to go full circle around the zodiac wheel. So we will not see this transit of Pluto in Capricorn again in our lifetimes, nor will our children or our grandchildren. So this is truly the end of an era. And because it's the end of an era, it's also the end of a soul cycle. And for those of you who are most affected by this Pluto and Capricorn transit, which I'm going to share with you in this video, for those of you who are most personally and intensely affected, this is also going to be a brand new life chapter for you when Pluto leaves Capricorn and moves into Aquarius. Not only is this an end of an era, it's the end of a soul cycle. Capricorn energy is associated with karmic relationships, karmic ties. So during a Pluto transit, if you are one of the ones most affected especially, you have moved through one or more important soul lessons, and at the end of this transit, you will be graduating from them. You will not have to revisit those lessons again. So this is something really big and beautiful to celebrate. How far you've come, how much work you've done, how you will not be the same person at the end of this transit that you were in 2008 when it began. I have a lot to share with you to help you make sense of this Pluto transit and hopefully to validate some of what you've been through if you've been one of the ones who have really felt the deep transformation from this Pluto energy. But before I go further, I want to say hello and welcome. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm happy to have you. Leave me a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Welcome back to those of you who have been watching my videos for a while. I so appreciate you. Thank you so much for your subscribes, your comments, and your likes. They really help to support my channel. And welcome back to my Sunday chat friends. Every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time, is when my videos generally go live. So if you would like to join us in the Sunday chat, 9 a.m. Pacific time, we would love to have you. Just be sure and subscribe and tap the notification bell so you get a reminder when I upload my next video. I'm Betsy Gutting. I am a psychic astrologer as well as an intuitive life coach and the author of the book, The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling. In my videos, as well as my professional astrology consultations, I weave together divine downloads, spiritual principles, intuitive insights, and Western tropical astrology. I love empowering you through the astrology. So at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you more about my astrology consultations as well as my coaching services, so you will be able to get a sense of whether you feel called to work with me. I also have a free gift for you, an instant download that I'm going to tell you more about at the end of the video. And if you'd like to receive my weekly inspirational astrology updates, you can receive those for free by going to my website, subscribing, and you will get that instant download immediately. Pluto is known as the planet of death and rebirth, the planet of deep soul level transformation. It is the god of the underworld. It takes us on a descent deep down into the murky underworld where we don't know where we're navigating. We do feel lost. We've never been there before. It's brand new territory, and it works with us in this way on a deep, unconscious, psychological level. This is why Pluto is given terms like the wrecking ball. Pluto takes no prisoners. It can be ruthless. The whole point of Pluto energy, the whole point of Pluto moving through our astrology charts is to give us a deep cleansing of anything that is not supportive in our lives. So jobs, situations, relationships, whole careers, health issues, financial stuff. All of this can come up so that we can clear away any behavior patterns, addictions, dependencies that are getting in the way of our full freedom, our full self-actualization, feeling in our power, 100% in our personal power. This is soul level work, my friend. Pluto moves our soul ahead. And this is why we often say that a Pluto transit feels like a dark night of the soul. It can feel like an existential crisis. It can feel like, will I ever come out of this? Will I ever get my energy back? Will I get my mojo back? Will I ever feel passionate again about something? Because it truly can feel like a death. And that is because it is an inner death that is happening when we're in the middle of a difficult Pluto transit. It feels like we are going through an ego death. A part of us that used to cope with difficult things in certain ways is dying because we no longer need those coping mechanisms. We no longer have to resort to those instinctual, fear-based ways of thinking or ways of reacting to life, especially things we can't control. Our soul knows we no longer need that. And so we are taken through this deep cleansing, soul level car wash. The best analogy I can come up with is that a Pluto transit feels like your life has been taken down to the studs. If you've ever remodeled a home before, just the foundation, just the framing, it's just the studs, it's just the basics. The interior of the home has been gutted. It can truly feel like the interior of ourselves is being demolished, is being gutted, so that we can rise from the metaphorical ashes and become new again. But here's the beauty of a Pluto transit. There is a gift. There is a huge gift. What we lose during a Pluto transit, we gain in wisdom, we gain in strength, we gain in the ability to rebuild our life. Pluto regenerates. It gives us the resources to rebuild, but from a stronger foundation than we had before. From this descent into the murky underworld, this what often feels scary and fearful underworld, we can rise back up, we can ascend again, we can come back up and surface through rebirth. We can be reborn again. And for any of you who have gone through the birthing process, who have given birth or watched somebody given birth, you probably know about the final contractions before the mother is about to push the baby out. We have this period called transition, and it is the final contractions, the final opening to make way for the baby to come through. And these are the most intense contractions. These are the contractions that you're like, I can't do another one. There's no way, especially if it's an unmedicated birth, you're like, there's no way, I can't do anymore. This baby has to go back in. I can't do this anymore. And yet we do it. We do it. And the baby is born. And this is the process that many of you are going through right now. Why do I say this? Because Pluto is at the very last degrees of Capricorn. It's at the very last degrees. As I am premiering this video, Pluto is at 27 degrees. It will go to 29 degrees before it then goes into Aquarius. These last few degrees of Pluto and Capricorn are like the transition phase of the birthing process. They are the last few contractions. That is for those of you who have planets or points, and these are the ones most affected right now by Pluto in Capricorn. Those of you who have planets or points between 27 and 29 degrees of Capricorn or the other cardinal signs of Cancer, Libra, or Aries, you will feel this most personally, most intensely. Many of you who have planets or points between 0 and 26 degrees of the cardinal signs, 0 and 26 degrees of the cardinal signs, who have already gone through their full Pluto transit. Many of you are still in that rebirthing process. Maybe you've gone fully through the death process. You can write out all the things that happened to you that were really, really hard, but you still may not feel 100% like you have a new life yet, or you're a new person yet. You may still be looking back and saying, but all these really difficult things happen, and I'm still trying to make my way into the next chapter of my life. So if that's true for you, I want to validate that that would be very natural for you to be experiencing that right now. Joseph Campbell said, We must be willing to let go of the life we planned on so as to have the life that is waiting for us. And to me, this epitomizes the Pluto death and rebirth process. Now, I want to give you a few key dates. October 10th is when Pluto stations direct. It will go from 27 to 29 degrees of Capricorn up until January 20th. January 21st, Pluto will move to 0 degrees of Aquarius. And most of you know that Pluto was in Aquarius from March to June of 2023. So we had a little glimpse of it. And now Pluto will move back into Aquarius January 21st. It will stay there until September 1st. And on September 1st, it will retrograde again back into Capricorn until November 20th. How you experience this Pluto and Capricorn energy will be very personal to your astrology chart. It will depend on where Pluto is transiting in your chart now, which I'm going to share with you in the 12 sign readings, but it will also depend on the planets or points that Pluto may be making aspects to in your natal astrology chart, as well as which houses those planets or points are in. So if you are not fluent in your chart yet or don't know how to fully read a chart yet, this is where a personal astrology consultation can be super helpful to find out the full picture of what's going on in your chart during this Pluto transit. But regardless of whether you have planets or points in the cardinal signs at these late degrees, you will still feel this transit on a collective level. We are all feeling it. We've been feeling it since 2008 with the banking crisis. Then we had 2020, the lockdowns, the restrictions, many people getting ill. We have experienced the turmoil, the pain on a collective level of this Pluto and Capricorn transit over the past 15 years. And those of you who've already experienced this transit on a very deep transformational level, you know there's no going back to who you were. And now there's thunder in the background as soon as I said that. There is no going back to the person that we were before this happened. And I'm right there with you. I have had Pluto making aspects to 6 different cardinal planets or points in my chart since 2008, and I'm certainly not the same person I was then. So when Pluto was retrograde, you may have felt the energy more on an internal level, reflective, doing shadow work, experiencing your fears and clearing them, and so forth. Now that Pluto is going direct, we may see manifestations of this wrecking ball energy, of this death and rebirth energy, this going down into the underworld, and the thunder just got very loud. We may experience it more in our external life, through other people, through situations, and so forth. We may feel like we start to see those red flags again, or we have to set clear boundaries that we haven't been setting, or we have to make that final cut with a relationship. And that would be very perfectly synchronistic with eclipse season happening at the same time. It's important to keep in mind that this is going to be the 4th pass of Pluto over the 27-degree point, the 4th pass of Pluto over the 28-degree point, and Pluto still has 2 more passes to make over the 29-degree point. So when Pluto gets to 29 degrees, I feel that we are very possibly going to have a bloom of the 29-degree Pluto and Capricorn energies. What do I mean by this? 29 degrees is an anaretic degree. It's the very last degree of a sign. It's where we can feel a strong intensity of the themes of Pluto and Capricorn, which I'm going to get into in a moment. In Pluto energy, we can feel powerful or powerless. If it's a hard Pluto transit, and I have a separate video for you on hard Pluto transit specifically that I will link to below. If it's a hard Pluto transit, we will experience challenges that feel like powerlessness, that feel like life is out of control. We can't control what's happening to us. Often it is the deep loss of something important to us. If it is a flowing Pluto transit, positive energy flow, a trine or a sextile, then we often feel powerful. We often get a boost in our sense of personal power. But regardless of what's going on, Pluto is purifying us. It's detoxifying us or our life. It is clearing away any unconscious dependencies. And this is the very reason that Pluto transits can be so painful, because they're bringing up something we could not see. It was our blind spot. It was buried down deep, but then a truth comes to light. We see something we didn't see before. We see a painful truth, which often looks like betrayal or abandonment, or it can be an actual loss that happens in career, in partnership, with a family member, with a home, in our finances. During a challenging Pluto transit, you can witness behavior of others that you previously trusted acting ruthlessly. You can feel shocked. Often it's a shock. It puts us into disbelief. We can't believe it. This is happening. Did that person really just say that? Did they really just do that? Am I now really as unsafe with this person as I feel? Where I once trusted someone, the trust has been broken, and this can bring a sense of deep grief. Wherever Pluto's transiting in Capricorn in your natal astrology chart, you could be feeling, if you have those late degrees of Capricorn or the other cardinal signs, or if the transit's already happened for you, you could have felt like, I can't control the situation. I have no power. The people with power are making all the decisions. I have no say in this. I've set a boundary and the boundary isn't being honored or respected. Often the only choice is to walk away from the situation so as to not cause further damage to yourself. You may feel like whatever is happening or has happened for you, that it's so wrong. It's just so wrong. And yet at the same time, you may also feel like, I don't feel safe asserting myself. I don't feel safe standing up for my needs. I don't feel safe making any demands or any strong requests, because that might make it worse. You could feel that might cause more trouble. I might have a greater loss if I stand up for myself than I would if I just waited it out. So as you can tell from my description of these transits, often there's a deep fear of losing something that's very important to you if you assert your needs. Key symptoms of a Pluto transit are emotional manipulation, power plays, boundaries not honored, betrayal, breakups, abandonment. You may feel like you're going backwards. You may feel like you've lost everything that you built. Pluto requires that we accept what we cannot change. We accept that those people, whoever they are, may never change. To accept that a power struggle that you find yourself in may not end unless you let go of the rope, because someone has to in a power struggle. Now that's Pluto energy. What's Capricorn energy? Capricorn rules the 10th house of the zodiac. The 10th house is the house of career. It's the house of legacy, vocation, passion. How do you want to spend your one wild and precious life? As Mary Oliver puts it, this is the house of our fulfillment and meaning and life purpose often. Capricorn energy is about being responsible. It's our personal and professional roles. It is often tied to work, house of career. It's often tied to our sense of ambition, our sense of achievement, our goals, and authority figures, the father, the boss, the supervisor, the hierarchy. Capricorn energy is all about hierarchy. Who has the power? Who's in charge? Who's the decision maker? The higher ups. And so a lot of people have experienced their Pluto transit in Capricorn in a work environment that felt or is feeling for you in some way toxic. Doesn't mean it's toxic for everyone, but for you in particular, it may feel quite toxic. Could be a micromanaging boss. It could be someone enforcing rules that feels very unfair. Pluto in Capricorn can also involve government corruption, corporate corruption, people misusing power, abusing power, what many of us experienced with 2020. The politics that have changed radically since 2020, that regardless of which political viewpoint you share, most of us feel are in some way corrupted. So Pluto in Capricorn brings out the dark, previously hidden corruption on the corporate level, on the government level, and in the political arena as well. And this is very important because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn governs karma. Pluto in Capricorn is all about karmic soul contracts. karmic relationships with family, with friends, with lovers, with co-workers, with bosses. And I find it very interesting that the US presidential election that is going to be happening November of 2024 will happen during that last pass of Pluto in Capricorn. So before I get to the 12 sign readings, I want to do two things. One, I want to quickly run through what happened for me during my Pluto moon transit, because sharing our stories is often healing and validating for all of us. And I'm going to share with you some quick tips on how to move through the challenges of the last degrees of Pluto in Capricorn. So I'm going to give you a quick bullet point list of what happened for me during my Pluto opposition moon transit. For those of you who want more of the details, because I know God is in the details, I don't have time for that here, but for those of you who want that, you can watch my hard Pluto transits video. So for me, Pluto opposing my Cancer moon involved getting skin cancer right here under my eye, very close to my eye. It was very delicate surgery, along with an allergic reaction that I had after the surgery that prolonged the healing for a full year. Additionally, my mom passed away. I also experienced this in the work environment. I had a micromanaging boss who made a very deceptive power play that shocked me more than you could imagine. I also experienced sibling betrayal. And because this was a Pluto moon transit and moon rules home and family, I also went through a really disruptive situation with a neighbor with whom I shared a common wall. Lots of noise, lots of fighting over there on her side of the wall that kept me from being able to find peace and quiet in my apartment. And on top of all that, in 2020, like so many of us, there was a complete loss of affection from friends who weren't hugging. There was a passionate love relationship that blew up as quickly as it came together. And when it was all over, when I was ready to rise from the ashes, I was able to receive the gifts. What were the gifts? My mom was finally free. She was finally out of that assisted living situation that she didn't like at all, and she managed to exit in February of 2020. So she didn't have to go through a whole year of not being able to have visits from others, which I think would have been devastating to her. Also, because I left that toxic work situation, I was able to launch my astrology career. I had already been doing astrology for over 20 years, but I was able to finally get my YouTube channel going and meet all of you. My disruptive neighbor moved, and a dream neighbor moved in, a very, very sweet person who I hardly ever heard on the other side of the wall. And because my mom is now passed, I no longer have the requirement of feeling like I need to interact with the family members who betrayed me. My face, my surgery finally healed. Pluto does regenerate us. And I have two beautiful grandbabies, one of whom was born in 2020. So you too, my friend, if you are sitting in the rubble, if you have yet to receive the gifts from your difficult Pluto transit, you too shall receive them as you allow yourself to move through that grief process, to let go of your losses, to let go of the past, and begin to identify with your new self. Now some tips for you, and then we'll go to the 12 sign readings. I believe October is going to be the most challenging month of this Pluto transit. On October 10th, the day that Pluto stations direct, be ready for the divine feminine to well up inside of you. You may feel the fighter in you coming out. You may feel like, I am standing my ground now. I'm going to fight for what I want. Why? Because the dwarf planet Aries is going to oppose the South Node, and because Black Moon Lilith is going to conjunct Venus. So we are going to be feeling the fire moving through us, and that's going to help us. Of course, we want to do this in a diplomatic way. It is Libra season after all, but that's going to help us to stand our ground, advocate for ourselves, and claim our personal power. Think of Goddess Kali. She is fiercely aware of her truth, and she's not afraid to cut out whatever she needs to release to be in her power. And finally, on October 20th, the Sun in Libra is going to square Pluto Direct. Another opportunity for us to stand in our truth and move forward fearlessly. What are my tips for you? Number one, be fiercely honest with yourself. Come out of denial if you've been in denial. Set new, clear boundaries, and if they're not honored, take yourself out of any situation that is toxic for you. Put yourself first. Number one is taking care of you and your inner child. Get support. Most of the time during a Pluto transit, we feel like, what happened to all my support? Where did all my people go? You could have friends that have scattered to the winds. You could just feel like, where are the supporters that I need? Where's my emotional support? Get emotional support. Get support from a spiritual coach like myself, from an astrologer, from a therapist, from anyone that you feel 100% solid trust in. You need a confidant during this time. You need someone who can fly above your life and see it from a different perspective than you are seeing it. Know that your passion will return. Know that you will get your mojo back. But there's one caveat to this. We have to shift our identity away from what we've lost, what we've built that is now gutted. We have to shift our identity away from that, our focus away from that to our future, to our new spiritual warrior self. If you have come through a Pluto transit, if you are moving through a Pluto transit, you are a spiritual warrior. You have earned your stripes. This is the new identity that your soul is asking you to claim. This is the power of you being on a spiritual path, you standing up for yourself, you detoxifying your relationships, your work, your health, everything in order to remain true to yourself. Say yes to that new identity, my friend, and you can feel the power rise back up in you and feel reborn. So let's do the 12 sign readings now. Listen to your rising sign. This is the area of life, the area of your natal astrology chart in which you will be experiencing this Pluto and Capricorn transit, or where you've already experienced it. You may also want to listen to your sun sign. This is how your ego personality may be experiencing the Pluto transit. And your moon sign is how you experience it emotionally in your relationships, or you may just get further intuitive messages by listening to your sun and moon sign readings. So let's start with Capricorn. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorns, you've earned spiritual warrior status. I hope that you take this on as a new identity because you are having this transit, those of you who are Capricorn risings, in your first house of identity. What does this mean? It means you have gone through or are going through what we call an ego death, where an old part of you that no longer is serving you, coping mechanisms, addictions, ways of being in relationship, those are falling away. They no longer fit who you authentically are. You could be getting a new role at work, a promotion, a new title. You could be becoming a business owner. You could have started your own business. You could have a child or a grandchild or something that causes you to change your role in your family as well. Something could happen in your friendships. It could happen in your relationships as well. I'm sorry to say that some of you could go through breakups because this transit is happening across from your 7th house of committed partnerships. So for some of you, that may be, especially if you're self-employed, that could be clients just switching out, losing some clients, gaining new clients. Remember that Pluto regenerates. It regenerates what we lost. It restores the years the locusts have eaten. But in order to receive that regeneration, that rebirth, we have to change our identity. We have to stop looking toward what we've lost, stop focusing on what we've lost, stop wishing that we had what we lost. And that means we go through a full grief process, and grief is very undulating. It's very wavy. It's not a straight line. And many of you could still be in that grief process. But once we're able to see ourselves in a new light, we see ourselves as the ones who have risen from the ashes. We see ourselves as the phoenix. We see ourselves as the butterfly who's come out of the chrysalis. And I know a lot of you may still be in the goo of the chrysalis right now. So we can't force the process. We can't force the outcome of, I have a new identity, I've been reborn. That's a natural process, but we can intend it. We can intend a breakthrough. We can intend to become new again. We can ask Spirit, our guides and our angels, to help us through that process. So that is what you're going through, and that is where you're going to reap the rewards. That's where you're going to get all of the good stuff from all that inner work that this Pluto and Capricorn transit asks us to do. So beautiful, Capricorn. Let me shuffle the cards. I am shuffling the cards now. Let's pull one for you and see what the beautiful Moonology cards have to say for you. And your card is Reveal what needs to be seen. Last quarter moon in Scorpio. Now, how perfect is this? Scorpio is connected to the 8th house of transformation, rebirth, regeneration, and reveal what needs to be seen. That's what happens during a Pluto transit. We see what needs to be seen. We see what has been hidden. That's what catalyzes us into letting go of what is not good for us. And I'm looking at this. She's looking at the ocean. She's looking at the rocks. She's just being one, it feels to me, with nature. So as you spend time in nature, beautiful Capricorn, you may have an opportunity to see what you haven't seen yet. If you are still waiting for that big aha, that big epiphany, that truth that is going to catapult you, catalyze you into new behavior, into a decision that is best for you, that is for your own best interest, being in nature may help you get there. Okay, Sagittarius. Hello, beautiful Sag, you're having this transit of Pluto and Capricorn, the very last degrees of Capricorn, in your 2nd house. Your 2nd house is your house of material security. This is your earned income. It's what you value most now, post Venus retrograde. A lot of us went through a lot of change during that Venus retrograde that we had all summer and into the fall, because Venus showed us where we weren't fully valuing ourselves, where we weren't loving ourselves fully, where we didn't claim what we most deserve, right? And so now most of us are in a different place because of that. We want more now, and we now see that we are worthy of more. It's about self-worth. This is the house of self-esteem, the house of where you feel more secure and more proud of yourself because of what you do create, what you do earn money from. And this transit is really helping you to know that value, to know what you deserve, and to allow yourself to go after it and stand up for yourself and set clear boundaries in this realm of money and however you support yourself. Okay, so Sag, let's pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say for beautiful Sages, the last leg of this Pluto and Capricorn transit. And your card, Sagittarius, is the last quarter moon in Pisces. Talk less, feel more. Talk less, feel more. So this Piscean energy is saying it's time to go within. It's time to feel what is happening on a soul level. Pisces energy is being one with the divine. It's being one with the ocean. It's realizing you are a drop in the vast ocean and the ocean itself. Less talking, less trying to figure things out in your head, more being, more sensing, more feeling your emotions and letting them move through you, beautiful Sag. And this will bring to you the riches, the wealth, whatever that means for you. It's different for everyone. The comfort, the material security that you are seeking. Leave me a comment. Let me know if this resonates for you. I'd love to hear. Okay, Scorpios. Hello, beautiful Scorpios. Scorpio, you are no stranger to Pluto energy. After all, Pluto is your ruling planet along with Mars. So Scorpios, you are the deep divers of the zodiac. You know how to go down and pull up that treasure from the underworld, how to discover more about yourself and your partners to make you feel more safe and secure and whole. And you are having this transit in your 3rd house. And by the way, Scorpio, I have a video series on your superpower. It's for every sign, the superpower of every sign, and the Scorpio one, for whatever reason, I happen to think that they all have great content to share, but for some reason the Scorpio one is the most watched one, I think, of all of them. So just to let you know that that is there, and I will put that in my end screen for those of you who want to check it out. Okay, so Scorpio, Pluto and Capricorn in your 3rd house. This is the house of your mindset, of your communication, of your local networking, your comings and goings in your immediate local environment, your neighbors, your neighborhood, your cousins, your aunts, uncles, and siblings. A lot of you will have something come up with a sibling or with another family member during this transit. Pluto transits are often played out through our relationships, and siblings or sibling-like friends. This could be like a soul sister or soul brother that may actually be a karmic relationship that you've come to an ending with, possibly, that you move through something with them and you culminate the relationship. Now, this is also the story that you tell about yourself. This is your narrative, your inner narrative. So that could also change. You could be taken down into the underworld to change the way that you narrate your life. This is where you're going to receive a rebirth, a regeneration, a chance to rebuild this aspect of your life. So for some of you, this could, even though it's not the house of home and family, it's still third house, it's still local environment. For some of you, you could have something really shift and change that does affect where you live, especially if you had a falling out or some weird thing happen with a landlord, for example, or with a mortgage company. You could end up changing your home as a result. This third house also rules your vehicles, it rules your devices, it rules everything electronic, transportation, short trips. So some of you could have a real deep experience of transformation on a short trip as well, or you could end up changing out your vehicle or upgrading your equipment. After all, Scorpio, Capricorn energy does make a really beautiful sextile to your energy. And with the sextile, it could bring you a new empowering opportunity or a solution to an issue that has been long-standing. Okay, Scorpio, so let's pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. For Scorpios, and your card is last quarter moon in Gemini. Interesting, because your third house transit that's happening for you is the house of Gemini, Scorpio. I love that synchronicity. This says clear your mind. In Gemini energy, we can scatter we can be scattered. We can have trouble focusing. And in this third house, it's a very busy, busy transit. Now, Pluto's been here for some time, working on you, right? In the third house, it's been here for some time, working on you very possibly to shift your thinking, to shift your thoughts, maybe being too mental, maybe trying to work things out too much on the mental level and not more on a visceral level, on a feeling level, on an emotional level, or on the level of your body's wisdom. So by going into meditation, by going out into nature, whatever clears your mind. For a lot of us, it's journaling. I call it taking out the garbage on the page, getting the words out, dumping your feelings into your journal. Any of those tools, you may have your own that work better for you. I also have more tools for you in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes. That is linked in the description box below. More exercises, ways to clear your mind. But whatever you choose, beautiful Scorpio, it's time to create a clear space inside of here so that you can then be open to the gifts, the treasures that this Pluto transit has for you. Okay, Libras. Hello, beautiful Libras. Libra, you are one of the ones most affected by this Pluto transit. Why? Because you're a cardinal sign like Capricorn, and this transit is happening in your fourth house. The fourth house cusp is an angle on our chart, which makes a transit like this that much more powerful, that much more transformational. So for you, there could be a big change in your home and family situation with your actual home. You could be changing your home. You could have, I say it could be or could have because we're at the tail end of this transit, right? So some of you have already been through it. Some of you are just going through it now. So this could be a change in home. This could be a change in your childhood, a healing on your childhood conditioning, because this is also where we received our very first imprints of parenting when we were very, very young. So you could be doing some childhood conditioning shadow work, so to speak, some inner child work. This is also stuff with family members. Many of you could be dealing with family members or with other karmic relationships where you're clearing something out, you're letting the relationship go, you're having a graduation, something has expired for you in terms of a soul contract. And Libra, this is the house of roots and belonging, where we want to feel completely 100% accepted by those that we care about, by those that we love. So you could also have gone through some distancing, some separation, some breaking ties altogether or some separation coming back together with those who have in your life felt like family, where you have felt accepted and rooted and held by those specific people. So home, family, childhood conditioning. So Libra, I'm shuffling the cards. Let's see what the cards have to say for beautiful Libras for this Pluto and Capricorn transit. And your card is the full moon in Aquarius. Be real. So in Aquarius energy, we let our freak flag fly. In Aquarius energy, we allow ourselves to be our authentic selves, to be our unique, to express ourselves uniquely, regardless of what other people may think. So this card is saying, be completely real. Is there anyone in your life with whom you've had friction or with whom you're questioning your relationship where you don't feel like you can be completely real? This card is saying that is over, that has to go. With Pluto transits, we often come through them feeling more comfortable in our own skin than we ever have before because we shed skin. We stripped away everything that wasn't true and real about ourselves. We let go of childhood conditioning where we maybe were putting on some sort of a front or we had walls up completely unconsciously. It's not like we did it on purpose or consciously. It just happened. Now the thing is, Libra, with Capricorn, this makes a square to your energy. So you may have felt some tension, some pressure, extreme pressure on your ascendant if you're Libra rising, on your sun, squaring your sun if you're Libra sun. And this card is saying that the way to get through it is through complete 100% commitment to your authenticity. So as you can see, this person's in nature, they're near water, the full moon is in the background, and they're giving themselves time to just be in their own energy. Some of you may need this. Some of you may need a retreat. Some of you may need more time in nature. Some of you may need time to just get really real with yourselves, really honest with yourselves about what is going on in your life, what needs to be cleared out, what needs to be stripped away for you to feel completely and totally whole. Okay, Virgo. Hello, beautiful Virgos. Virgo, you're having this transit of Pluto and Capricorn in your 5th house of love, true love and romance, dating, creative expression, children, playfulness, fun, adventure, your own inner child. Now, Virgo, Capricorn energy makes a trine to your energy, Earth and Earth. This is very positive. However, some of you could still have planets or points in the cardinal signs and be feeling this on a different level. But for any planets or points you have in your sign in Virgo, this is where you're getting the wind at your back. This is where the universe is pushing you forward. This is where you're getting that positive energy boost of personal power from Pluto. And that's really beautiful. That can really catapult you forward in a way that feels quite enlivening and passionate, especially for your love life. So whether you have a significant other in your life or whether you want one, this can be really beautiful for your love life and or for your relationships with children and or for your own creative expression, your own putting your talents out into the world, creating things and letting other people experience the joy of what you are creating. So Virgo, let's pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. What's the message of the cards for Virgo for this Pluto and Capricorn transit? And your card is full moon in Sagittarius. See the bigger picture. This is about you rising above your life. Oh, I love this card. I love all of this multicolored. It feels like rainbow light. So much creativity. I see a lot of orange here, a lot of sparkles, a lot of very 5th house creativity here. And this is you getting a new view on your life, seeing from a new vantage point, seeing from a higher perspective, like a coach would, like an astrologer would, like somebody who is more neutral, who isn't attached to your decision making. That kind of professional assistance could really be beneficial for you, Virgo. So Getting a neutral perspective, seeing the bigger picture, seeing from a whole new vantage point is going to set you free, beautiful Virgo. It's going to put you on a new course. It's going to allow you to go out, start a new life chapter, go out into the world, be the fool in the tarot, and say yes to your heart. Okay, Leo. Hello, beautiful Leos. Leo, you're having this transit of Pluto and Capricorn in your 6th house of wellness, daily habits, food and nutrition. This is also your daily work. This is your job if you have a job. Unless it is your passion, then it would be more 10th house career. But this is your daily routines, structures, schedules. So it often does relate to our work life. This is where you're having a regeneration. Perhaps the wrecking ball has come in and changed your work life. Perhaps the wrecking ball has created a health situation for you. Pluto going through the 6th house wants us to detox. And how perfect when we think of detox, thinking of our physical health, right? Or our mental health. So a lot of you could be reaching out to professionals to get help in terms of health coaching or mental health coaching or therapy for your emotional self, or you're releasing yourself from something, a situation or a relationship, could be with a coworker, could be with a boss that has felt toxic to you. So beautiful, Leo. Let's pull a card and see what the cards have to say for you. A lot of people heal significantly and are regenerated. Their health is regenerated through a 6th house Pluto transit. And you can even become stronger than you've ever been before, beautiful Leo. Okay. Leo, what is your card? Your card is full moon in Cancer. Let your fears dissolve. Cancer energy is the nurturer. It's also the part of us that shelters ourselves with the crab shell, right? We have this shell where we retreat into our shell when we don't feel safe, when we don't feel secure. This card says any fears that you're holding, and I see so much healing in the green up here, physical body healing, and I also see a lot of divine assistance through this purple energy, a lot of claircognizance and help from your angels and your guides. To me, this is about clearing your emotional self, clearing your emotional body, and allowing any fears to surface, because Pluto brings up the deepest, darkest fears, allowing those fears to surface so that you can move through anything, Leo, and start a whole new chapter in your life. So Leo, if you have personal planets or points in the cardinal signs, you may be really feeling this. If you don't, and you're feeling it on a more subtle level, Capricorn energy does make a quincunx, that's an inconjunct to your Leo energy. And that can be a real awkwardness. That's where we've got to find a workaround. That's where we have to find a solution in another way. We have to walk sideways sometimes like the crab. You have the strength. You have the courage to move through any fears. Clear that emotional self so that you can be reborn again, so that you can rise from the ashes. So if this resonates for you, beautiful Leo, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, Cancer. Hello, beautiful Cancers. I have my moon and my rising in Cancer. So Cancers, like the other cardinal signs, you too have been through it or are going through it right now. Not only did I go through that Pluto moon transit that I was telling you about in the first part of the video, but I have a Cancer sun daughter who's had Pluto squaring her sun over the past year with 2 babies under the age of 2. And it's been quite the challenge for her, but now she's in the middle of remodeling a home, which is quite stressful, but very soon to move into a brand new, beautiful home where she has chosen all of the finishes and so forth. And it's like a gorgeous dream for them. So there is a silver lining. There is a gift at the end of this transit that we can all experience. Cancer. Cancer risings in particular are having this transit in their 7th house of partnerships. Your 7th house of partnerships. Well, we know what this is about because this is all the most important people in our life, right, Cancer? For Cancers, we want everyone to feel like family. So for us, that 7th house, it incorporates everyone that's important to us in our family. It incorporates anyone that we see as significant in our life. It could even be for you, soul sisters or soul brothers or best friends. And Cancer, having Pluto move through your 7th house since 2008, not easy at all, but it has cleared out or is clearing out now if you're just at the end of it. It has or is clearing out any patterns, behaviors that have kept you from experiencing true fulfillment in your relationships. And that is really good news. You have shed a skin or multiple skins during this transit. You now want mutually reciprocal partnerships. You are very clear on that. Raise your hand, leave me a comment, let me know. If you're very clear, you are not settling for crumbs anymore. You want the whole cookie, or better said, you want the 3-layer cake with your favorite frosting and flowers on top. You want the full thing. Right, Cancer? You have a new resolve. You have clear standards in mind, and you will never again ignore the red flags. You will never again ignore the red flags with people you are dating or even with friends that show you you're putting in more than they are. You're more committed than they are. That is over for you, beautiful Cancer. And you may still have, this is important to say, you may still have people that come back into your life and offer you something, but you realize, some of you will realize that that isn't what you want. That doesn't mean you haven't done the healing work. That doesn't mean you haven't graduated, but you have gone most likely through one or more soul contracts, karmic relationships that have now expired. You've done the work. You've graduated from those and you're ready for a true soulmate relationship. Beautiful Cancer. So let's see. I'm shuffling the cards and let's see what the cards have to say. For you, Cancer, with the 7th house, Pluto and Capricorn transit. Cancers, your card is last quarter moon in Aries. Aries is the first place, I'll show you the card. Aries is the first place where we had an experience of our needs being met or not being met. Okay, it's very instinctual. It's where you can feel like you're getting kicked in the stomach at times by someone's behavior, by someone's shocking behavior, where you feel like you can, the rug's been pulled out from under you, where you've experienced some sort of betrayal. This is saying, work through your feelings. How perfect for Cancer energy. Many of you are probably saying, I've done that work. I've worked through my feelings. But what I feel like they're saying, we all have a light and a dark within us, right? There's a lot that's been illuminated for you, a lot that is now fully in the light, but for some of us, we still have, I mean, this is a lifetime of practice, I believe, a lifetime of working through many soul layers. Some of us still have half of our moon self, our Cancer inner moon self, right? Cancer is ruled by the moon. We still have some darkness here that may come up, that may surface, and we'll know it because it's in our feelings. Trust your feelings, trust your intuition, work through them, tap on them, breathe through them, let them move out of you, beautiful Cancer. And you can be this free spirit dancing in all this beautiful orange, creative, pink and purple, glowing energy, creative energy. You deserve the best, Cancer. Leave me a comment if this resonates for you. I would love to hear. Okay, Geminis. Hello, beautiful Geminis. My natal sun is in Gemini. Geminis, you're having this transit of Pluto and Capricorn in your 8th house of transformation, death, and rebirth. This is the Pluto energy, right? 8th house energy is connected to Pluto anyway. The 8th house, it also rules shared resources in partnership, money, time, energy. Any place where you rely on another person, where you're doing it together, where there is that shared commitment, where you are teaming up together to create something, especially things that involve money or that involve your emotional exchange of energy or your sexual intimacy. So this is a really beautiful placement, I believe, of Pluto, because this is where you can have a real sexual healing, a sexual awakening. This is where you can heal any money stuff. This is where you can heal partnerships in which you are exchanging this kind of energy. And this is where you can gain great wealth. Some of you could gain wealth through a new partnership. You had Pluto move through your 7th house of partnerships before this. Now Pluto's moving through your 8th house. Some of you could have already attracted a partner that is increasing your, bettering your financial situation. I have to say too, though, that sometimes with a Pluto transit in our 8th house, it can mean that we lose money. And if that's going to happen for you, it's probably already happened, or you are experiencing it now with this transit. Remember that Pluto regenerates. We don't want to be in denial. We want to come out of denial during an 8th house transit. We want to pay attention to our finances. We want to pay attention to any of our investments, especially because 8th house is like retirement accounts. It's where we have money invested in the stock market, where we have taken out loans. So we want to really pay attention to our financial health during this transit. Super important. Gemini. Okay, so I'm shuffling the cards, and keep your intention on building your wealth, on expanding your wealth. What you deserve, beautiful Gemini, what you have worked so hard for. Also, this is a house where you could receive an inheritance, where you could receive a windfall of money. So, beautiful Gemini, let's see what the cards have to say. For you, Pluto in the 8th house transit. Gemini. Ooh, guess what, Gemini? Your card is full moon in Gemini. Embrace the flow of life. I love this so much. It's your energy. It's you teaming up with another person. The 8th house is a partnership house. It's you sharing good times, love, laughter, emotional intimacy with someone that is like-minded, a soul sister, a soul brother, a significant other, a lover, Gemini. This could be like the Lover's card. And it's saying embrace the flow of life. You never know when something beautiful can come through. And I'm taking this for myself too, because I'm Gemini sun. We never know when we could meet that special person, whether in friendship, whether in a romantic relationship, client relationship, it could be anything. We never know when we may receive that beautiful gift of partnership, right, Gemini? And for you, I know that relationships they light you up. They light up your life. They are so important to you. So this card is very affirming, and I see so much light coming off the moon here. So much light come off the moon. So much glow. It just feels very magical. And that's your energy, Gemini, the magician, the magic. Let the magic come back in your life. When we're in the flow of life, that's when we feel the magic. That's when we feel the synchronicities. That's when we get the downloads. That's when we go, I am a spiritual being having a human experience. This life is not all just drudgery and plodding along. And when you're really focusing on finances and investments, it can feel very... what's the word? It can feel very much like you're trudging through the mud, like you're doing the things you know you have to do, but they're not as exciting. Although it can be very exciting, like figuring out investments and what stocks you want to buy and doing that research. That can be really fun, actually, as long as it's not coming from fear, right, Gemini? So beautiful, Gemini. If this resonates for you, leave me a comment. I would love to hear. Okay, Taurus. Hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, you're having this Pluto and Capricorn transit in the last degrees in your 9th house. Your 9th house is the house of expansion. This is where you are up-leveling in your spiritual growth. This is the house of adventure, long-distance adventure. It's the house of other cultures, higher learning, expanding what you know, metaphysical kinds of trainings, the metaphysical arts, spiritual belief systems. With Pluto going through here, I would not be surprised if many of you are not awakening to a new belief letting a belief go that doesn't work for you. I know that when I went through my divorce many years ago, I had to let go of the belief that I would never go through a situation like that, that it was wrong, that it was bad, that anyone who did that just wasn't trying hard enough. And that was a that took me into a dark night of the soul. How can this be happening? How can I believe that if you just work hard through something, it won't happen to you? I had to let go of that belief. And so you may have some belief in something that is leaving your life possibly, or something that is breaking up for you, something that's no longer good for you. This could be really a religion that's been oppressive to you. This could be this could be a guru falling from grace, coming off the pedestal, that you realize a truth that you didn't see before that is changing your belief system, your way of thinking. Some of you may publish your story during this time. It's the house of publishing. It's the house of writing, of speaking. It's the house of the sage. Pluto transits are beautiful grist for the mill for our own autobiography, our own memoir. That's the word I was looking for. Writing our own story out, because Pluto stories really are. They are stories of death and rebirth. They really are hero's journey kinds of stories. Others of you could be teaching for the first time. You could be teaching a new subject. And you could really be expanding your life. You could be setting off on a whole new travel adventure. You could be saying goodbye to your home and becoming a digital nomad, for example. Lots and lots of possibilities, but Pluto can bring great passion. And Taurus, Pluto and Capricorn makes a trine to your energy. So that is really beautiful. Trines are ease and grace. Trines are the wind at your back. Trines are things falling into place. So for you, this could be more of a passionate transit, more of you feeling a boost of power. So beautiful Taurus. And that's, of course, if you don't have planets or points in the cardinal signs at these degrees. If you do, you're going to be feeling that as well. Okay, so Taurus, your card. Your card is, first quarter moon in Sagittarius, which happens to be connected to the 9th house, I must say. Believe in your good luck. I love this. Traditionally, the 9th house was ruled by Jupiter, and that is the planet of luck and good fortune. So this is so 9th house. Believe in your good luck. Good things are coming to you. Look at this card. What a gorgeous card. So much light. So much light. Wow. If I got this card, I would be really tuning into the full moons as they happen. I would really be, I would be unleashing my creativity. All of this orange around this person. This person feels to me like they are praying to Goddess Kali, like they are really absorbing the magic of the universe. Sagittarius is pull back your arrow. Pull back your arrow and aim for what your heart desires, and know that you deserve the good luck and good fortune that this transit wants to bring you. Beautiful, Taurus. Okay, Aries. Hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, you're one of the ones most affected by this Pluto and Capricorn transit. This is happening in your 10th house of career. I'm sure you already know that. I'm sure you're already feeling this. This is Pluto and Capricorn making a square to your career house, legacy, vocation, passion, fulfillment, where you get deep pleasure from something that you are putting out into the universe as your work. You could also be feeling this transit in your 4th house of home, because the 10th house is across from the house of home, and because this is on an angle, your 10th house is an angle in your chart, your midheaven. You could also be feeling this in your identity or in your relationships, your most important partnerships. So you could be feeling this in any of these areas, and this is why this is a major transit for you, Aries. You could be feeling it in all of these areas. You could have had already a change in your home, or be planning to move, planning to change your home. You could have had a real big shift in a relationship, and most importantly right now, you're probably focused on career, letting go of an old career perhaps, starting a new career, searching for your passion. My book, The Magic of Saying Yes, is the perfect workbook for you. I also share a lot of my personal stories in there. But in that book, I literally say, take my hand and I will walk you across the bridge from where you are now to where you want to be. So that is a really good book for those of you who want to know, what is my passion? What's calling to me? What's my purpose? What are my next steps in terms of how I see myself, my new identity, the part of you that is emerging from the ashes of beautiful Aries, the part of you that's regenerating, the spiritual warrior in you who's rising up to claim your birthright of living your passion, living your authentic life as it was meant to be. So Aries, I'm shuffling the cards. We're going to pull a card for you. Aries, your card is Aries. Ooh, last quarter moon in Virgo. Attend to the details. This is a lot of green healing energy. Virgo is the sign of wellness, of healing. What details in your life need to be focused on, beautiful Aries? What I's need to be dotted? What T's need to be crossed? What sort of everyday life things? Is there anything, this could be in any area of your life, anything to do with career, anything to do with finances, with bill paying? When I think of Virgo energy, I also think of the details of what you're eating, the details of how you're moving, your everyday routines, your structures, your sleep habits. But I really love this card because it is extremely healing, and that's Virgo energy. There's so much fertility in this card, so much growth, so much. It's like there's something about this card. I'm trying to figure out what it is that I feel like this is a pyramid in the background, which is a very sacred place. For some of you, this could be a message to take a trip to a sacred place and really have a breakthrough in your new identity, your spiritual identity. For others of you, this is like, yes, the moon. Do you see how the moon is sort of like, oh gosh, what's the word? It's like suspended. I feel like it's suspended right here in this like blue sky, this really beautiful, there's just so much freshness here, so much newness, Aries, and that's you. It's like the fresh, the new, the different, the new project, the new life, the new chapter, the new job, the new business. And yet, so there's a lot of vitality and fertility and newness in this card. But the way the moon is suspended here reminds me of, like, it feels surreal to me. There's a surreal aspect to this card. And maybe that's saying that attending to the details of your life will then allow you to go deeper on a spiritual level when you're meditating, when you're doing yoga, when you're journaling. It'll allow you to go deeper, to reconnect with that part of you that is urging you, your soul, to say yes to your next calling. Beautiful Aries. If this resonates, I'd love to hear. If it doesn't, I'd love to hear. I love connecting with you. Leave me a comment. Okay, Pisces. Hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces, you're having this transit of Pluto and Capricorn in your 11th house. The 11th house is the world card in the tarot. The 11th house is your public self. It's coming out into the world. It's your connections with friends, with communities, with social contacts, social media. 11th house is also hopes, wishes, and dreams, the dream of your life, where you'll feel most fulfilled, your happiness, like big picture, holistic happiness. It's also a money house. It's your long-term gains. Sometimes we get windfalls with 11th house energy. Pisces, you are receiving from Capricorn energy, you're receiving a sextile because you're water, Capricorn is earth, you complement each other. So there is a beautiful opportunity potentially coming in for you if it hasn't already, or some sort of solution to a previous issue or problem. I feel a renovation or a rebuilding of tribe here. I feel that you are getting the opportunity to meet new people. With Pluto transiting the 11th house, even though this is a sextile, it could feel like friends have just fallen away. Like contacts, alliances are changing because you're transforming. So that could happen. That could be that they fall away, but it could maybe not through a lot of pain and underworld, venturing for you. Maybe you didn't have to go through it. Depends on whether you have planets or points in the cardinal signs. But if you don't, and it's mostly been more of this like positive flow energy for you with Pluto, maybe it was easier to sort of let things go. But with Pluto here, it's passion and power too. It's passion and personal power, perhaps through starting your own platform, starting some sort of a work project or creative project that is going to bring you more out into the world. That's going to bring you a whole new sense of recognition and enhancing your reputation. So Pisces, let me pull a card for you. I talk so fast. I feel like then I have to do that breath to like do this, to really tune into the energy of you and the cards. And your card is Pisces. Last quarter moon in Aquarius. Reflect on your priorities. Reflect on your priorities. What is most important to you now? All of this blue, throat chakra, all of this purple, crown chakra, receiving divine downloads about what you want to prioritize now. There is a lot of beautiful water, your watery energy in this card. She's at the ocean, which is you, Pisces. I feel like she's taking in, this feels so creative. Even this kind of orange energy. This is very eclipsey looking to me as well. And we're about to have a solar eclipse in Libra. So I think this card speaks for itself. It's very straightforward. Prioritize what matters most in your life and you'll reap the rewards. You'll be able to say yes to opportunities that matter to you. You could be getting multiple opportunities. Your passions could really be rising with a Pluto transit in your 11th house. Pisces, especially if you have your rising sign, your sun sign, or other planets or points at these end degrees of your sign. So if it resonates, leave me a comment. Let me know what's going on for you, Pisces. I'd love to hear. Okay, Aquarius. Hello, beautiful Aquarians. Aquarians, you're having Pluto transiting in your 12th house, the 12th house of the unseen world, the house of the mystic, the house of regeneration, retreat, going within, doing the deep dive, deep meditation, deep soul journeying, practices like hypnotherapy. This is where we rewire our subconscious mind. Now, Aquarius, because Capricorn is next to your sign, it makes a semi-sextile, and that really varies on how people feel that. We don't talk a lot about semi-sextiles. It's where we're learning something. So this semi-sextile could actually feel supportive to you, or it could feel somewhat awkward and like you have to find some sort of way around things. But what this transit is doing for you is it's taking you deep, and that's Pluto energy anyway. And Pluto going through the 12th house often really brings up mucky stuff. It brings up stuff that we don't want to see, that has been hidden, that has been in the dark, especially 12th house. You could feel quite isolated during a 12th house transit, or you could feel just very attuned to your divine guidance, to receiving those divine downloads, having deep dreams, doing a lot of clearing, a lot of cleansing, a lot of releasing of the past. And that's really beautiful. There is a renovation, a rebuilding, a rebirth on offer for you here. And some of you could be like having astral travel experiences, or just having other really like going into the Akashic records, having really deep transformational kind of awakening experiences here. So Aquarius, let me pull a card for you. I am now doing a little bit more shuffling for you. And let's see what the cards have to say for beautiful Aquarius, Pluto transiting your 12th house of the mystic. Ooh, last quarter moon in Sagittarius. Practice gratitude. There's a sunset here. There's a closing out of something. For many of you, this is probably karmic contracts, karmic ties, some relationships that have expired for you. The sunset, the closure, the releasing, the making room for something else. So this is saying practice gratitude, to release any relationships, any job, any situation that was just is over for you, or just not healthy for you, or just no longer taking you forward in your soul's growth, to do that, being grateful for those people, what they taught you, what you learned, even if it felt toxic to you, being grateful for the lessons that you've learned, the gift from those experiences, the gift from those relationships really will help you to move forward, beautiful Aquarius, into your next beautiful chapter. So if this resonates, Aquarius, or if it doesn't, I love connecting with you. Let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you. My beautiful friend, this has been a general reading of Pluto stationing direct, moving forward in and through the last degrees of the sign. If you would like a personal reading, if you would like to know how is Pluto in Capricorn and or Pluto moving into Aquarius impacting my natal astrology chart, what planets or points is it aspecting? In which houses are these? What does this mean for my transformation? If you feel like you're going through a dark night of the soul, if you've been through a dark night of the soul, but you're not into that rebirthing phase yet, and you're wondering, is this ever going to change? Will I ever find myself again? Will I find this new part of me that has gifts for me? I would love to support you. Other transits are happening right now. We still are feeling Uranus, many of you are. Saturn in Pisces is being felt by a lot of you. So if you would like to know what are the transits that are happening in my chart, what are the upcoming transits, how can I best work with those energies, and also you may be wondering about your life purpose. You may have a specific heart's desire that you want to know. Are the planets supporting me right now to manifest this heart's desire? Or if you've never had a natal chart reading done, or you've had them done but you're ready for a refresh, or you want to hear from an astrologer that has a different point of view from another astrologer on your natal chart, I would love to show you what I see in your chart in terms of your gifts, talents, your abilities, and your beautiful potential. If this calls to you, you can go to my website, read the testimonials that other clients have left about their experience. And if you'd like to receive clarity, you're looking for clarity on something going on in your life and you want to do a clarity session with me or some deep dive soul alchemy coaching with me, I can support you in that way as well. All the information is in the description box below, a link to my coaching page as well as my astrology page. Check it out and you can easily book your session online. Thank you for your likes of this video. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your shares. Thank you for your subscribes. When you support my channel in this way, you send a message to the algorithm that then puts my video out to more people who love astrology, and you really help my channel grow. Thank you to my Sunday chat friends for joining me for the premiere of this video. You are all welcome to join us 9 a.m. Pacific time for the next video. And thank you to all of you for watching whenever you watch. I so appreciate your time, your presence, your energy, being part of this like-minded community. I love supporting you. I love how we can support one another. And if you would like further support, go to my website, subscribe for free to my inspirational updates, and get my free guided meditation, a soothing guided meditation that will connect you to your own inner guidance, to your unconditionally loving spiritual guides. It's an instant download that I created to support you. So my beautiful friend, until my next video, I'm sending you all my love.